Let me share my screen. So once again, you are all welcome to this episode. So, and this will be a practical class in the sense that we are not going to stay for more than an hour on this call because I have a meeting exactly 9 p.m. so that I have to catch up with. But because we already scheduled a class for this a case study class, and we did not do last week, so I don't want us to consistently be missing classes. It should be discouraging students. So I want us to be encouraged. And that's why I said, okay, no matter what, I'm still going to hold this class tonight. So like I said, so the last time I've actually walked us through the necessary information, the necessary things that we have to know as far as case study is concerned. Please confirm once you can see my screen.
We can't, it's only showing APS professional. I don't think we can still see it.
I'm sharing now.
All right.
Please confirm once you can see it.
Yeah, it's up now.
Okay, we can see it now.
Can you see it now? What can you see?
Yes, we can see now. I can see case study introduction to the paper.
Introduction to the paper. So we have walked ourselves through all this. We have done report writing. I've made you to understand all the necessary body, all the necessary components of a case study report. So what the cover page entails, the executive summary and how we should go about it, introduction, what are the things that should show on introduction, and the body of the report, and how that should be arranged. So which means that, okay, the first requirement will come first. If that is what you know well, if you like, you may bring the second requirement. There is no, what is it called? There's no one way about it. So any requirements you know best, start with it. So the arrangement of the case study solution is that the cover page, you take page 1. Then you start your executive summary, leave page 2 and 3 for your executive summary blank. Then you move to page 4 and start your introduction. Then after the introduction, you start the body for requirement 1, conclusion for requirement 1, and recommendation for requirement 1. Then after you finish that requirement 1, body, conclusion, recommendation, I used to advise that students should go back to the executive summary and summarize that first before you start your requirement 2. That is how you should do under examination condition, because time may not be by your side. Then after the body for requirement 1, conclusion and recommendation, then you bring that of requirement 2, same way, body, conclusion, recommendation. Then you sign off your reports. We call that complementary close. So then you have your appendices afterwards. So I've actually walked us through all this. So then I remember that the last lecture we had, I made us to understand the tools for case study analysis, where we looked at the 2 major tools, quantitative and qualitative. And we said quantitative, we have financial statements analysis and financial data analysis. I made you to understand that financial statement analysis is pretty basically your ratio analysis and your trend analysis, sometimes common size analysis. But what is common, what is very, very rampant in most solutions is the ratios and trend. So, and I've explained, we already know at this stage, at this level of your examination, ratios and trend, computing them should not be an issue for you. What might seem to be an issue is how to interpret and how to make sense of them in a good report writing format. That is what should be an issue. So, but at this moment, ratio is just a relationship between 2 numbers. So one number might be in the statement of financial position, another one might be in the statement of comprehensive income. Both of them might be in the statement of financial position. It depends. In fact, both of them sometimes might be in the statement of comprehensive income. So it depends on what ratio you are computing. So we have worked ourselves through all this. Then we've also looked at the qualitative analysis, which can be any of the models that we learned in MTE or in CSME, as the case may be. So some management terminologies that we have learned. All those things might be applicable in our case study exam. So that's pretty all we have to know as far as knowledge is concerned. So then I already said that today's class, we are going to take a look at a practical aspect. How do you tackle case study examination? How will your question look like? So that is what we are going to do today. So then perhaps after we look at the questions, after I walk you guys through how the question will look like, your requirements, what to do first, where to start from, then I will now give you the particular diets that we're going to take a look at against next week, so that we look at it together. We walk ourselves through the solutions and the like, so that you guys can use to practice. Pending the time that, okay, the person will come out before we now do justice to it. I'm sure that you guys get what I'm trying to say. So let me go to a typical case study question. A typical case study question and see what it will look like. So, okay, this is for case study. So the question we are going to look like will be that one that has to do with person on scene. So I'm going to just zoom off straight up to the diets that I can have been using person and unseen. Okay, let's take this for example. November 2021. November 2021 case study. Let's assume that, okay, this is the case we are going to use to practice. For those people who are writing this paper for the first time, what I can use to do, I remember I've said this in one of my classes. What I can use to do is that they give person 2 weeks to examination, and that person will not be complete. So, and it will have no requirements. So they will only give some peripheral information for students to read ahead. And perhaps anyone, any smart student can then try to use that to practice. Maybe for some of the requirements that he feels it should come out or the examiner should ask, and use that to practice. So any practice that students will do, it is very, very important to bear in mind that that will not be the exact requirement or unseen suggested that will come out in the examination. It will be different. You are only using that for practice purpose. So pre-seen will be out 2 weeks before examination. And this is the pre-seen here. You can see they have shown you the introduction. This is the introduction aspect, introductory aspect here. This material is issued prior to the examination date to enable candidates familiarize themselves with the case scenario so as to undertake any research. That's the purpose of the pre-seen. So as to undertake any research analysis they think fits. This pre-seen part of the case study examination is also published on the institute's website. So you will see it anytime they say, okay, case study exam used to be on Thursday. On Thursday, that is 14 days to exam, that same Thursday in the morning, go to this site. The pre-seen will be uploaded there. So if you cannot go to these sites, don't worry. You will see it flying around different icon groups. So on our platforms, you are going to see it there. Caution, you must not bring this material with you to the examination hall. There's no point in bringing it because on your examination day, they will also give you both the present and the unseen, so there's no point. On the receipt of the material, you are to spend the few days to the examination day to familiarize yourself with the information provided, carry out additional research and analysis about the industry, and analyze the financials provided in preparation for the examination. What is certain that the examiner will give you in the present is the financial statements. It's very, very certain. Though sometimes the financial statements might not be complete. They can only give you, sometimes they will give you the statements, the notes will not be there. Sometimes they will give you some years and give you additional years in the unseen. So, but just know that financials will be given to you. So you can just, like the examiner is telling you now, analyze the financials. Candidates should note that the use of the present part of the case study will not significantly help them in their preparation for this examination. One of the mistakes that students make is that they think that in the examination hall, they will only use present, they won't use unseen. You will definitely use the unseen because your requirements will be in the unseen. Some information you are going to need it. While some students have mistakenly thought that it is only the unseen they will use, they will ignore the present. So either way, it's not correct. You are going to use the full case, both the present and the unseen together in the examination. It is essential that they carry out sufficient analysis work on their own in order to have a good understanding of the present part of the case scenario. At the start of the examination, candidates will receive the complete case scenario. Can you see? Which will include both the present and the unseen, which includes the requirements. Very, very important. In fact, this part, I'm going to highlight it. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. They will give you both the complete case study that will include requirements. You must use the answer paper provided by ICANN in examination hall. Any solution presented with any other paper will not be marked or assessed. So that one is very, very important. So this is the assessment, and they are telling you that on the total marks available, 20% are awarded for executive summary. And that's why executive summary is very, very important. I used to stress it. And approximately 10% for the relevant discussion of ethical issue within your answer to the requirements. Ethical issue is not a special requirement. And that's why examiner have said this. Within your answer, so it is going to be embedded either in requirement 1 or in your requirement 2, but mostly it usually come in. It's usually embedded in your requirement 2. I just said this. Although ethical issues do not form a specific requirement, as it has been deemed to have been tested in other subjects of the ICANN professional examination, but will be tested within a requirement which may include the following areas. These are specific ethical issues, not all. So all these are just preamble. So now let's go to the case study proper, the present. November 2021 case study, ZEN Nigeria Limited. What are the exhibits they have given you in the present? So your examiner have given you 4 exhibits in the present. The first one, they said about you. Your name is Joel Garba and your employer, Babatunde Farouk Ibazebo and co, chartered accountants and tax practitioners. ZEN Nigeria Limited, history, operations, competitors, board and management. 4-year summarized financial statements from 2015 to 2018. And the 4th one is board paper number 257. So board paper means the minutes of the board of directors. So they have brought out an extract that is useful for this particular case to us. So you can see the exhibits in the present. Now let me move to the unseen so that we can see. So the unseen exhibits will be a continuation of the exhibits we have in the present. We've not started reading the present. Well, let me just go to the part where the present started from, so that you understand what I'm trying to say. You can see it for unseen rather. This is the unseen. And this is the list of exhibits in the unseen. And the examiner have even gone ahead to tell you that the following exhibits are newly provided and did not form part of the materials provided as present. So the examiner have given you 6 additional exhibits in the unseen. The first one, email from David Ibazebo to Joel Garba. You are Joel Garba. Your boss has sent you a mail passing some information to you on what to do and what to carry out as a requirement as far as this engagement is concerned. Email from Debo Afolabi to Ibazebo. By the time we go to this exhibit 6, we are going to understand who Debo is. So it is pretty sure that Debo is either a managing director or a financial director in the company of your clients, which is ZEA. So, letter from Alcat Leasing Company Nigeria Limited. That's exhibit 7. Exhibit 8. Why did this thing jump? Sorry, it has jumped. Okay. Exhibit 8. Letter from the minister. Someone is distracting me from the background. You people have started. I will remove someone from this room. Let me see the person now. Just remove the person. Can't shout. Letter from the Ministry of Health. 9, Exhibit 9, installation of air plants, financial projections. Exhibit 10, 2019 summarized management account. So you can see that this is a full case. So what I can use to do before they change their style is that all these exhibits 10, they will give everything to you once in the examination hall. But they said, okay, let's strategize, let's change style. So they provide some exhibits in the preseen and provide some in the unseen. And that's exactly what they have done here. So now the first thing we need to understand that I used to tell students is that, okay, once you have these full reports, full case in your examination hall, what do you do first? The first thing you need to do as a case study student under exam condition in the examination hall is for you to go to your unseen. You've already familiarized yourself with the preseen. So it's not new to you. Go to your unseen parts and go to that exhibit that has the requirements. The exhibit that we have the requirement will be the first exhibit on the unseen. Let's go back to the unseen. Exhibit 5 should have a requirement. This one, let me just click enter. It will take me to exhibit 5. This is exhibit 5. Email from David Ibazebo to Joel Garba. You are Joel Garba. Joel Garba is your name. That's what you should understand. In the examination hall, the name you are going to bear will be that name that your examiner gives to you, not your actual name. So from David Ibazebo, sent 2nd July 2020 to Joel Garba, which is you, subject ZEA Nigeria Limited. I have just received a mail from the Chief Finance Officer of ZEA asking us to advise the company on a way out of the current financial situation. The company will also want us to advise on the effects of a proposed plant leasing on their financial statements and key financial indicators. In addition, the CFO wants us to carry out an appraisal of new business proposal, the installation of turnkey ear plants in 4 of the teaching hospitals in the country. I'm attaching to this email exhibit 6 to 10 in respect of the above. Please draft for my review a report addressed to the board of ZEA. The report should comprise requirement 1, then requirement 2. I look forward to receiving your draft report. That is the first thing you have to do once you get your question paper in the examination hall. Are you with me? So once you get your examination paper on the examination day, that is the first thing you have to do. So I'm being alerted that this our meeting will end in 10 minutes time. So our subscription that we did for a month has finished. So, and then, so what we'll just do is that we are going to just understand all the necessary questions tonight. Like I said, I have a meeting by 9. So, and there should be another class by that 9 as well. So that's CR class. I've been following up with the lecturer, but he has not been, he has not replied my message. So, but there should be a class for CR tonight. So let's continue this. So that is the first thing you need to do once you get your paper. Go to that exhibit that has your requirements and know what your requirement is. This is your requirement 1. And this is your requirement 2. So by the time you're under, because it is very, very important to understand where you are starting from. Case study examination is a very big examination with plenty pages, sometimes like 20, 25 pages. One question, one case. So if you do not know where to start from, you will just be reading, and reading. Before you realize, examiner will say, 30 minutes to go, you will now want to start writing. And by that time, so that time, one might not be able to meet up. So it's very, very important to know what are you starting with, where are you starting from. So start from here. But after you have done this, then what should you do? What you should do is to now go to your answer booklets. Let's assume that this is our answer booklet. I'm going to introduce, what is it called now? Where is my board? Where is my board? Okay, let me assume that, okay, this is my answer booklet. Let me use this. This is my answer booklet. This first page. So what you should do is just to come here and write your cover page. Your cover page, I already gave you what a cover page should be. I remember that time when we had this class, I sent you a screenshot in the group to see what a cover page looks like. So then set up your cover page. After you have set up your cover page will have your company. This is an external report. How do we know it's an external report? I think I addressed this in the group, but I want someone to quickly remind us why this particular case is an external report. I want someone to unmute himself and give us that hint. Why is it an external report? Let's go back to the, we will be able to know from the person. The moment we have our person like this, and you see this here, from this, you will know where your examiner is introducing yourself, about you, from the second requirement, second exhibit, from the third exhibit, from the fourth exhibit, you will know what type of a report it is. Is it an external report or an internal report? Can someone answer that? Let's make it interactive.
It's an external report, sir.
Why? That's what I know it's an, I've already said it. Why is it an external report?
It's because they are contacting the, what is it called, consultants to advise them, and the consultant is what is it called, Farouk Ibezebo. Why myself is working under that Farouk. Farouk want to advise the Z Nigeria Limited, write a report for Nigeria Air Limited.
Okay.
That means we are not working in the company. we are external consultants.
Okay, thank you so
To the
much.
company.
So that answers it. So once you come here and they introduce you about you, Joel Garba, and your employer, and once you see that your employer is a firm, either a firm of chartered accountants or a firm of tax practitioners. So once you see that you are working for a firm, not for a company, you should know that you are not, what we'll be doing will be that you are serving clients. So, and they will tell you about the clients. You can see now that this is your own employer, which is a firm, and they are telling you that there's another company here, ACTI Nigeria Limited, who is probably your clients. So just know that this report is going out to this said here. From where? From this firm, Babatunde Farouk and Ibazibu, chartered accountants. So a report is going out. That's what makes it an external report. A report is going out from your own firm that you are responsible for to our own clients, which is this company. So it's an external report. If in a situation whereby your report is addressed, will be addressed to an internal person, maybe your own boss or your managing director or your board of the company or organization you are working with, it will be an internal report. That's a very good question. It is an external report. So, and be it an external report, it means that our what is it called? Our cover page will have, is going to have the details of your firm, aside from title and dates. It's going to have the details of that your firm, which is like a letterhead and a disclaimer. So if it's an internal report, there will be no disclaimer, and there will be no need for you to draft anything for the letterhead because it's an internal report. All you will have is to maybe the title of the report, prepared by, and the dates. As I'm displaying it here, that is what you are going to have if it is an internal report. But for an external report, you are going to have something additional, which is this one, and the disclaimer that we are having here. The disclaimer that we are having here, you are going to have it. So those two will be additional on your cover page. It's very important for you to know that. It's very important for you to know that. So now let's continue looking at the question. So once you identify that, okay, it's an external report, and you have identified your requirements in your exhibit 5, first thing, go to your cover page, draft your cover page. It won't take you 5 minutes for you to finish that. So next week, we are going to try that out. Then once you move out of cover page, what you will do is to now go to leave page 2 and 3 for executive summary and move to page 4 and start your introduction. Introduction will not take time. Are you getting it? It will not take time. So, and then after that introduction, then start with requirement 1. Start with the body. After the body, you conclude on requirement 1, then you recommend on requirement 1. Then after you finish that requirement 1, before you start your requirement 2, go and summarize that requirement 1. Go to executive summary and summarize it. Then leave space on that executive summary. That's why I said 2 pages. 1 page should be, that 2 pages should be enough each. Then now start your requirement 2, body, conclusion, and recommendation. And then after you finish it, then you can now summarize it as well. So that's what you should do. So for the sake of time, I have a meeting by 9, and I want to catch up with that meeting. I want to prepare. We are going to end our lecture here tonight. The recording will be sent to the group later. I will share it with you, and I will share the diets we are going to be looking at. In fact, we are going to take a look at this particular diet. This is the diet we are going to take a look at. so that you guys can use it to practice. We won't be taking question. Any question you have, please drop it in the group. I'm going to address them later. Just drop them. So thank you very much for attending this lecture.